Good afternoon, everybody. How you doing? It's me, Paddy from Across the Shuck, and you're very welcome back to the channel. Um, Thank you to everybody who joined in last night's podcast. We had Michael Duplessis, a South African custom maker who is now um, living in England and set up a workshop and is making his custom knives here in the UK. So it was a great podcast, and a very nice gentleman, I have to say. So thank you to all that came across. Today, we're going to talk about not a custom, but we're going to talk about what I think is the best value production knife. Full stop. This one happens to be a slip joint, and I'm talking mostly about the Rosecraft blades slip joints. They are amazing. And I'm not trying to over pump them. I get them for nothing. They send them to me. I don't have to. There's lots of companies would send me knives, but I wanted Rosecraft blades because their standard, their quality, their fit and finish, their service, everything is spot on. Can't complain at all about anything. And in fact, much like, other knives that I sponsor, Jacko's knives, you don't hear people complaining about their fit and finish. Now, it's a much higher price quality, but it's still the same. For what you're getting in a Rosecraft blades, it's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And it can't be understated how good it is. It's an American company. Their knives are made in China. They're hoping to move to America, and I wish them every success with that. But here's the kicker. I don't care. Honestly, I don't care. I'm a foreigner, so I don't have to. I, I think this would be a hard thing to replicate in the US, the standard of this knife. And I'm not saying that the US is not a good knife producer. They are, of course they are. But this standard for this price in the US, I don't think you'll ever get, because it costs much more. And as simple as that, the costs are much higher than the United States. But I know the company wants to go there, and I wish them every success. I hope they get there. But in the meantime, I don't feel as if I'm trying to think of the right words for it, because I don't want to insult anybody. That's not what I'm trying to do. I just think the quality of this production knife is over the top, way over the top for what its price is. So get them now while you can. And the nice thing about it is they're here in the UK. They've made the effort to get them sent to the UK to two dealers. They have Heinne, which has probably the better collection of them at the minute. They have this knife, which we're going to talk about, which is the Savage Creek Gunstock. But they have them in stock. The other company they use here is Cycler Knives. They don't have as many in stock, but they do sell them if that's your preference. By all means, I don't get paid by any of them two companies. I get this straight from Rosecraft. But they're the two companies over here in the UK, and I know I've just checked that Heinne has this one in at the moment. In fact, Heinne has most of them in at the moment, to be honest with you. So there you go. For what that's worth, that's what it's worth. Comes in this lovely box, lovely foam insert, so the knife doesn't get bashed about. There's not a lot said about the packaging, but I think it's fantastic. It's a good solid box. It isn't going to get damaged. It's slim, it's small, it's easy to store if you're a knife collector. Perfect. That's the box gone. Now, what do you get in the box? You get this beauty. This is a stunning knife. Now, I love the Gunstock pattern. I think it's a fantastic pattern. I like it much more better when it's a single bladed Gunstock, because then the shape of this handle comes into a life of its own. No matter what size your hand is, two fingers up front, two fingers on the back, on the larger part, which gives you plenty of grip on your whole hand. You feel as if it's a completely solid grip. It's super. You can sneak up there if you want, and it'll give you a little bit out the other end. I have a large hand, so it's just an absolutely comfortable and just exquisite the way it's been done. I love this Ace of Spades shield. Fantastic. The fit and finish on it is just absolutely super. Absolutely super. Even the cutoffs, everything about it. Look, it's polished completely inside. These are all steps. Polished blades and all are steps that cost more when you're getting a knife made. I'm sure everybody knows that, but it's one of them things that A lot of people maybe don't when you get it. Now this is a lovely satin finish, belt satin. You have a nail nick and you have a lovely deep swedge, which goes onto the other side, which is something I really like. Lovely kick on it. And for kick, if anybody doesn't know that, in a slip joint, this little bit that comes out here, they can be different sizes and shapes, but this stops the blade wrapping on the back spring. So this is specifically done so that when you slam, or not when you slam, but listen to walk and talk, by the way, comes up to a beautiful half stop, and that little bit there stop the blade going any further so it doesn't wrap on the back spring. And that's not easy to do, believe it or not. There's a lot of companies make mistakes in that, but it is beautifully done. As is all their slip joints. There's not one of them has had a slight touch of blade wrap at all yet. Not that I've had anyway. It's black micarta. It is beautiful. And here's another thing. Look at the way that's hafted. You have lovely curved handles. So in your hand, it just melts away. Absolutely melts away. I love this clip point. It's really nice. But what I want to show you, they're not a lazy company. A lot of companies will just have a clip point shape and that'll be it throughout their range. This is another knife that you know I love already, which is the Cane Creek. Look at that. Completely different in swedging, but they're about the same size. You know, either one could fit on either knife, which would be an easier and cheaper way to do it, but they didn't. They make them different. And that is such an endearing feature that I just think money doesn't buy that. That is somebody who wants their knives to be kept, to be useful, to look beautiful, and they do. I'm going over the top, but I'm not actually. I just think this is £59, I believe, to buy. It's in the high 50s, whatever it is. But it's D2 steel, and I have used it. I have done tests on it, and it seems to be an absolutely A-OK as far as heat treat goes in my testing, which is not official, which is not, you know, anything that Rosecraft are getting at. It's just me. I've tested them. So you know me, you know what my tests are. I've shown them I show what I do on the channel in tests. Not horrendous, but it will give you an idea of what the blade steel is like. It'll give you an idea of what it cuts like. This does both things absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. Nice, not thick, but look, it goes down to a beautiful tip. Look how good that swedging is. Look how just completely centered it is. Love it. I absolutely love it. I've enjoyed carrying this. These two are probably the ones that out of all so far, you know, I love you see, I keep saying that and then I change my mind because I love the Barlows, I love the jackknife they do, but these two are right up there with it. And they're just stunning knives. They're both about the same size. I think this is a little bit longer. This one's about 3.5 and this one's about 3 5/8. The black one, sorry. The Gunstock is about 3 5/8. So perfect size for me. That's a pocket knife for me. And they're so good. Like normally when I'm getting a knife that's in this price range, you know, I just throw it in my pocket. No, these go into slips. I'm sorry. They're just too good to throw in the pocket and get scraped and scarred. These are my users, but I still like my users to look nice. I have rough ones if I want them. I can just go and pick them out of the drawer. But these go in. And who wouldn't want to bring that out and show it again? Look at that. Isn't that lovely? And that shield, it's a lovely little hand size. You know, it's a breadth of your hand. There you go. It's a breadth of your hand. It's just lovely. You can hold it in there and nobody even know you've got a knife in there. And that's what I like about a pocket knife, because there's a lot of sheeple out there who get scared of knives. And I don't want to scare anybody. I know it doesn't make sense, and I've said this before, that people should be scared of a pocket knife, but that's this day and age. That's what the governments are trying to make people feel about knives, and it's nonsense. This is a little tool, and an amazing little tool. I really, really get behind this one. If you haven't bought one, this is a great place to start. Great place to start. I'm going to show some comparisons. Well, look, I showed you the other one that's out in this batch of knives. I love the colours on this one. I mean, this is just your generic black sort of look, but it looks classy. This is your colour happy Mondays. Get out there and take it out and flash your knife about, because it's. I also believe, and again, if you've been with me any length of time, colour just deflects anything to do with knives. If you have a brightly coloured knife, it doesn't tend to scare people as much as a darker coloured one. Again, just my findings on my typical journey. But this one is a beautiful knife. You've seen this one before on the channel. Beautiful knife. Now, gun stocks. What do I have? Well, let's go below this a bit. Here's a Rough Rider, and it's one of the older Rough Riders. This has the checkered patterning on it, which is done beautifully, and it has the long rifle, and it's the long rifle series, I believe, or the rifleman series. There you go. Beautiful knife. Really, really beautiful. I just love this knife. But the only thing with this is it's two blade. And when you've got the main blade out, absolutely no problem. But I always find that once you put your main blade away, I don't know why I've done that like that. That was a bit crazy. For goodness sake, Stephen, what are you at? There you go. When you put the main blade down, it's not quite as comfortable. It really isn't. You've got the pen blade there and you've got a lump. Now, because this is a spear, which is why it's still in my collection, this doesn't hold too bad. But if it was a clip point, it would stick up much higher and you'll have a point and it'll get in your fingers. But that's why I like this one, because it is a little spear. Well, it's not a little spear, it's a full-size spear there. And then your clip point. So look how low the profile of these blades are compared to a lot of other gun stocks that are two-bladed. So I like this for its looks, which is a fantastic look. This is another one, great value for the money from Rough Rider. Getting harder to find these ones, but it is a great value knife. We've just stepped up. And then let's go up again. Like I've been doing this, I like to put them in sort of brackets. Here's a Shatton Morgan, a beautiful Shatton Morgan. Gunstock pattern. There you are, Gunstock pattern. It has the clip on the top and a long spay blade. Is it spay? No, I think it's just, yeah, it is a spay blade, yeah. It's a spay blade there. But when you close this down and you take that out, do you see what I mean about sticking out? And when you've got a clip point, it's definitely not the knife to put two blades in when you've got a clip point, because you've got that nice big spay there, but this is not anywhere near as comfortable. If you had to do any push cuts for a short period of time, that is going to annoy you. But it is a beautifully made knife, an absolutely beautiful made knife by Shatton Morgan, which was Queen. This was Queen's higher end version, and this is from the file and wire testing series. But again, it's a lovely knife, beautiful knife. These are all roughly around the same size. And last but not least, the Jack Wolf Knives Gunstock. Incredibly comfortable, as I've done in my reviews, because it's just a single blade. And it does genuinely make a difference. If you're going to carry knives like I do, and the blades maybe don't matter, these are all absolutely fine. But if you want to use a knife, and I'm not a hard user, so it really doesn't get me, but I love the feel when something just feels as if it should be in the middle of your hand and you should be cuddling it. Then to me that stands out way above. The Jack Wolf is definitely in that bracket. I think it's beautiful. I love the big clip. Beautiful knife. But just as a pattern, you get such a range of knives that you can get in this pattern, and they're all lovely knives. And let's be honest, even if it does stick in the back of your hand, most of us, now I was just saying, most of us don't do hard enough work for any length of time that it's going to become a problem. Either one of these knives is going to do me fine. Either one's going to do me fine. And they're in different price grades as they're going up there. But this is just an example that you can get from the lowest price, the Rough Rider here, up to the Rosecraft blades, then the Shatton Morgan, then the Jack Wolf. That is a range of knives. That's what I like to collect, is a range of knives rather than four of these, four of these, four of these, four of these. That's not the way I want. I like to have the different knives in the different companies, and that's what excites me in collecting. I don't buy a gun stock from case and then buy 17 of them. That's not my jam. It's not my jam. So you'll see lots of different knives if you're just new to the channel. But these are just fantastic. Really lovely knives that are all of my collection because of the quality of their fit and finish, their design, everything about them I like. And this in its price range is unmatched. Unmatched. And Rosecraft blades, the other thing they do absolutely perfectly on every knife, I must have, what many have I got now? I must have about 10 Rosecraft blades, right? And every one of them has come that sharp. No matter where you put it on the blade, it is that sharp. The blade grinds for a reasonably priced knife are just super. Get this off the table. Just super. You can look at that there. There's that blade grind on that side and on the other side. And they're made to cut. That's what a knife should be. When a knife comes from a maker, whoever it is, or whatever company it is, it should be able to cut well. So, bit of a rant, but they should. I mean, you wouldn't sell a football that wasn't round. So don't sell me a knife that is not sharp. That's simple, dead simple. But there you go, Rosecraft blades, just another fantastic knife they brought out. Am I surprised? Absolutely. Andy and his crew there, Swags, the other fella, I can't remember, terrible, I can't remember that fella's name. It's every video. Yes, they're a great crew. They want the product to be as good as they can get it, and I believe they have got them as good as they can get them. But I know what's sort of coming that you don't yet, and honestly, they're going to blow this year out of the water. That's all I'm going to tell you. Just get them. Get them now, because in a couple of years' time, you will not get these knives at this price. Absolutely, you will not, because their quality is way too good. So there we go. I'm away. Waffled enough. Take care. Thank you very much, Andy. I think it's another out of the park design and executed to perfection. Bye now. Take care. Cup of tea time.